Hi there, welcome back. This time, I'm going to show you how to create twist transitions in DaVinci Resolve. As usual, you can download the template and apply the twist transition to the timeline. In the inspector, there are a few options allowing you to change the animation styles, such as changing the twist direction or invert the rotation. You can also choose a different curve preset. The animation will automatically adjust to match the length of the transition, either extending the transition or shorten the transition. Next, we will look into the details of making this effect in the Fusion page. From the Effects panel, drag the Fusion Cross-Dissolve transition to the edit point in the middle of the two clips. We now have a simple dissolve transition from Photo 1 to Photo 2. Right-click the transition, open it in the Fusion page. Media in 1 is the outgoing image, which is Photo 1. Media in 2 is the incoming image, Photo 2. Since we will be making a new transition style, we can delete the cross-dissolve group node. Disconnect the media out. Select Media in 1 node. Click the Image Plane 3D, Merge 3D, and Render a 3D button in the toolbar. This automatically adds and connects the nodes in the editor. Link the Renderer 3D to the media out. The result is a smaller input image, because it is rendered from a 3D scene. To get the full image result, select Merge 3D node. Go to the Transform tab in the inspector. Change the scale to 2.945. The final result is now the full-size image. Select Media in 2, click the Image Plane 3D button in the toolbar to add an Image Plane 3D node. Connect to the Merge 3D node. Drag the Merge 3D node into the viewer, so that we can check the scene in the 3D viewer. Both images are added to the 3D space at the same default position. We want to have a 3D image with one side set to Photo 1 and the other set to Photo 2. Select the second Image Plane node. Expand the visibility section in the inspector. Hide the front image by checking the Front Cull Faces option. Similarly, select the first Image Plane node. Hide the backside of the image. We now have Photo 1 as the front side, and Photo 2 is the backside of the 3D scene. You may have noticed that the display of the second image is horizontally flipped. We will come back to address that later. Now let's create the twist effect to flip the images. Bring the media out back into the viewer to check the final result. Select Merge 3D node, press Shift Space to open the Tool Selection window. Find and insert a Bender 3D node. Change the bender type to twist. Set axis to X. When we change the amount, we can see the image is twisted. And we will animate this twist amount to create the effect. But the edge is not smooth. Select Image Plane 3D 1 node, change the subdivisions to 100. The edges are now smoothed for one side. Similarly, select the second Image Plane node, also change the subdivisions to 100. OK, this is good now. To flip the image with the twist effect, we also need to rotate the image so that the backside turns to the front. While the Bender node is selected, Press Shift Space to open the tool selection window. Find and insert a Transform 3D node. Go to the beginning of the transition. Set a keyframe for the rotation X parameter. Go to the end. Change the X value to 180 degrees, which automatically creates a keyframe at the transition end. Now we have the second image upside down at the end of transmission. As we mentioned earlier, we are going to fix this now. Select Media in 2 node. Click Transform button in the toolbar to insert a transform node. Go to the inspector, turn on the vertical flip option. The result image is now showing correct. As we play the transition, it flips the image from photo 1 to photo 2. To add the twist animation, select the bender node. Go to the beginning. Mark a keyframe for the amount parameter. Move to the middle of the transition, frame 15. Change the amount to 0.5 to create a new keyframe at the current position. At the end of the transition, set amount back to 0. Great, we have now created a twist transition effect. But since we used keyframes for the effect, the animation will not automatically adjust to match the transition time. For example, if we extend the transition, the animation will always run for only 1 second. If we shorten the transition, the animation will not complete the full cycle. To resolve this, we will use the Anim Curves modifier, one of my favorite tools for Fusion macros and templates. Let's reset the duration to 1 second, and go back to the Fusion page. Right-click the Bender 3D node, select Edit Controls. Create a new control with the name Animate Value. Add this new parameter to the Controls page. Set range from 0 to 1. Choose Slider as the input control. Click OK to confirm. Now we have a new parameter, Animate Value, added to the Controls tab in the inspector. Right-click, Modify with Anim Curves. Because this is for a transition effect, we will leave all the modifier settings with their default values. Back to the tools, double-click to reset the amount parameter. This also removes all the keyframes. Modify the amount with a simple expression. We can drag a pick whip to connect the amount to the animate value control. The amount is now linked to the animate value, changing from 0 to 1 as we play the transition. But this is not what we want. We want the amount to get back to 0 once it reaches 0.5. To achieve that, we can modify the expression to a conditional input like shown here. This will ensure the value comes down to 0 from 0.5. This looks good. We also had another set of keyframes in the transform node. Similarly, reset the rotation X parameter. Modify with a simple expression. We can reuse the animate value from the Bender 3D node. Multiply the animate value by 180 to animate the rotation X from 0 to 180 degrees. Now the animations are controlled by the Anim Curves modifier. We can change curve mode to easing, change the effects with these preset curves. Go to the Edit page, change the transition length. The animation also adjusts automatically. Alright, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.